So the NFL lost a coaching legend. In fact, the sports world lost a legend. Rest in peace, the great Don Shula. I'm Matt Levine, welcoming you right here to the 954sports.com YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. It certainly has been a depressing year in the world of sports. You know, it seems like years ago that we were mourning the loss of Kobe Bryant, and then comes COVID-19. And I know a few weeks ago, was able to do a video, kind of a eulogy and a rest in peace to the great kicker, Tom Dempsey, who notoriously kicked a one-time record-setting 63-yard field goal for the New Orleans Saints. He passed away from COVID-19 in the Big Easy. Today, Don Shula passes away peacefully. Reports saying it was not COVID-19 related. Passed away 90 years old after living what seemed like a great life. Shula spent many of his NFL years, he's coached for 33 years, 26 of them spent here in South Florida, in Miami. He won 347 games. The only undefeated season, let's show you the bling, in NFL history took place in 1972. 17-0 those Dolphins went. The pride and joy of Miami forever. They won 14-7 in Super Bowl VII over the Washington Redskins. And the next year they would repeat as champions. Larry Zonka and the Finns bulldozed their way past the Minnesota Vikings for back-to-back titles. In fact, they would play in 3 straight Super Bowls. 3 of the first 10 the Finns played in. They would lose in 74 to the Dallas Cowboys. But just an incredible, incredible run for the legendary coach, Don Shula. And a celebrated life, no doubt about that. Only had 2 Dolphin teams that were ever under 500, below 500. So the epitome of a sustained winning program or franchise under his reign in Miami. That's when the glory days of football were here in South Florida in the 305. As he had just a spectacular career. Started as a coach 33 years old with Baltimore in the 60s. In fact, in 1969, he was on the losing end, I should say, of the 16-7 loss to Broadway Joe Namath and the Jets, Joe Willie. You see him there, number 12, right? He had Miami in 5 Super Bowls overall in his tenure as the coach of the Dolphins. The last one he coached in, the one I remember, not much of a Super Bowl. You had Dan Marino as a rookie. I think he threw 45 touchdowns in 84, if I'm not mistaken. Lost to Joe Montana, who was the grizzled vet. And a championship won at that with the San Francisco 49ers. There you see it. Basically, that Super Bowl at Stanford Stadium in the Niners' backyard in Northern California. And Shula, who had just a great life. That's a statue of him outside the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Put into Canton as a Hall of Famer in 97. Played for 7 years in the NFL as a defensive back. He was drafted in 51 by the Cleveland Browns. Born and raised in Ohio, by the way. Went to John Carroll University in Cleveland. Played with 3 different teams in the NFL. In his career as a defensive back, he was also a veteran of the armed forces, served in the reserves during the Korean War, coached with Marino. He was the coach with Marino as his star quarterback for 13 seasons. Said one of the biggest regrets he had was never having the opportunity to win a Super Bowl championship with Marino. Definitely one of those things, you look back at the great quarterbacks and coach combinations in the NFL, right? Bradshaw Noel, Starback Landry, Montana Walsh, Favre Holmgren, Belichick Brady, Eli Coughlin, and unfortunately, I had to throw in Eli Coughlin. I don't care what you say. They won 2, didn't they? Anyway, unfortunately, Shula and Marino never won a title. But there's still mystique and legend surrounding both of those gentlemen. In addition to coaching the great quarterback in Marino, coached the talents of Earl Morrall, pictured there, sandwiched between Morrall and number 19, Johnny Unitas. Coached some great quarterbacks in his day. Not only known for his exploits on the field, but also known for his work off the field, including his charity. There's the Shula Fund, as this raised money for breast cancer research, a tribute to his late wife, Dorothy. He was married to her. 32 years, had 5 kids. He would remarry 2 of his kids, David and Mike. They coached in the NFL. Known for his steakhouses throughout the country. Down here in South Florida. He's basically a god, a legend. Earned it. There's State Road 874, a.k.a. the Don Shula Expressway. So this is a guy who accomplished just about everything in his 90 years and stamped his legend on the sports world and National Football League. And Don Shula, you will be missed. Seemed like a cool dude on and off the field. A legendary coach, no doubt about that, and a champion. Rest in peace, the great Don Shula.